Today we are going to talk here on the channel about 39 habits. Yes, 39 habits, 39 attitudes of our daily lives that can lead us to the umbral. If you're not familiar with the term, here's a brief explanation of what the umbral is. The umbral is a mental state where many spirits go through for a re-education, let's say, after they pass away. And we have all been through there, because remember folks, we are immortal spirits, and we have reincarnated and passed away several times during our evolutionary journey. So I'm going to show you here 39 attitudes that the mentor Andre Luiz called unhappy attitudes, and this psychography from the medium called Chico Xavier is in the beautiful book, Green Signal. Unfortunately, it seems to me that there is no English version. But that's also one of the reasons that I want to share this with you. If anyone knows of an English version, leave it in the comments, all right? So let's talk about these attitudes that we all must strive to abandon. Well, folks, as it has already been said, the umbral is a mental state to where we are attracted or taken by obsessive spirits after our passing. Of course, depending on how we conduct our reincarnation, not everyone will go to the umbral after passing away, but we have all been there. As you know, we are immortal spirits and we have reincarnated and passed away many times. Now folks, it's somewhat complex. In fact, to address the subject, trying to determine that this or that attitude that you may have will lead you to the umbral. Because we are individuals, my daily struggles are different from the struggles you are facing. There is no way we can determine the same spiritual destiny for all people. We can't do that, but there are attitudes and habits that we acquire and do not abandon that can lower our vibration, creating mental states in us that end up attracting obsessive spirits and facilitating their approach, which can generate obsession processes, or we enter into harmony with the obsessive spirits and consequently with umbral energies, dense energies and vibrations, which can then attract us to the umbral after our passing, or these obsessors link it to us now. They may simply wait for us and take us there. And there are several examples of this in Spiritist literature. That's why it's important for us to do what Jesus taught us. This came from him. He taught us to pray and watch, because prayer is our bridge to higher spirituality. Simple and sincere prayer brings us closer to spiritual mentors of light spirits, and thus helps us to move away from obsessors. But prayer alone is not enough. Along with it, it is necessary to watch our thoughts, our words, and our attitudes. In other words, Jesus taught us to practice our inner reform, because praying and watching is this, folks. It is an invitation to the internal improvement of being, and that is inner reform. So, folks, I'm going to bring here for you now 39 unhappy habits listed by the spirit of Andre Luiz. I'm not going to comment on each one of them. Otherwise, this video will be hours long, but over time, we will addressing each of these points in several specific videos, okay? Cultivating negative thoughts towards others. Speaking loudly. Speaking unfavorably about anyone's situation. Spreading rumors and engaging in negative conversations. Applying ruthless frankness under the pretext of honoring the truth. Digging into others' past, harming or hurting others. Comparing communities and people, spreading pessimism and discredit. Avoiding cleanliness. Complaining systematically about everything and everyone. Ignoring others' conveniences and rights. Intentionally focusing on others' faults and scars. Inquiring about situations and connections whose meaning we cannot grasp. Disrespecting people with unnecessary questions. Telling jokes that may hurt the feelings of the listener. Mocking bystanders or lashing out at absentees. analyzing sexual problems, whoever they belong to, sharing knowledge out of place and condition for the pleasure of displaying culture and competence, discrediting commitments and schedules, living without method, being restless all the time, compromising others' work and hindering the execution of one's own duties, bragging under the excuse of being better than others, spending more than one has, expecting honors and privileges, not wanting to endure suffering, demanding good without work, not being able to withstand insults or criticism, not trying to control oneself and exploding at the slightest setbacks, discrediting services and institutions, avoiding studying. 10. Always postponing obligations that can be fulfilled today. 9. Dramatizing illnesses and misfortunes. 8. Arguing without reasoning. 7. Disdaining adversaries and idolizing friends. 6. Complaining about others, what we ourselves have not yet been able to do. 5. Seeking support without giving cooperation. 4. Condemning those who cannot think for our own heads. 3. Accepting duties and abandoning them without consideration on others' shoulders. 2. Insulting or tapping on the person speaking. 1. Using pornography or profanity, even if they are supposedly in fashion. So these are some attitudes that we must avoid in our daily lives, and besides that we must not forget, and I will repeat here what our Master Jesus taught us, to watch and pray, because this is the best guide there is for us to start practicing our inner reform today, which will lead us to our moral and spiritual evolution. For you who haven't seen it yet, in the video description, there's a link to the mental symptoms of mediumship video. Check it out. I also left a link to some books that I consider mandatory reading for those who want to learn a little more about the spiritual side. If there's any specific topic you would like to see here on the channel, please leave it in the comments. Learning about spirituality is something fascinating. Let's embark on this journey together. Thank you to those who stayed with me until the end of this video. Leave your comment. A fraternal hug to all.